Hi, welcome to another critique. So Hongbo, she sent me these images, and for critique, they are studies and attempts, first serious attempts at a painting on iPad, which are this is a pretty good attempt, I must tell you. They were in my class. I learned in class, and it's helped me a lot. So it first of all, it looks great as far as studies go. There's a couple of things that I'm seeing that can help you, both rendering and anatomy wise. I mean, again, you were looking at a picture. I'm not looking at your picture, so things might not line up with what you're looking at. But let's start with the lips. So the lips one, you did the reflections like really nicely. The one thing that is missing is ambient occlusion, or I like to call it shadow occlusion, or shadow occlusion, which is, for example, like the corner of the mouths where they touch. There should be like a fine, darker line. Also, I'd like to see a bit more gradient, a harsher separation of. Amir, thank you for the raid. Enjoy your stay. I'm doing a critique, but I very much appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's very sweet of you. As I was saying, ambient shadow.
The smile isn't wide enough.
Waker, thank you for the resub. Today, fuck, you guys are too generous. I can't stream. Goddamn Waker, thank you so much for the 15 months. I'll get to you. I wanna make sure that I got all of these. I don't want to spend too much time on the critique. I'll get to you. I promise. Let me continue. As I was saying, the lips. I think you would benefit from some shadow occlusion. So where the corner of the mouths are, or the corner of things in general. You know, when you have your fingers like together like this, you see this fine darker line, and then there's like a gradient and stuff, right? So you would benefit a lot from that in both images. As far as rendering goes, I'd like to see a bit more gradients in general, but also I'd like to see a stronger split on light and shadow. Again, I'm not looking at your reference. Your reference might even look very like flat. The lips might look flat due to like pictures and stuff, but you could benefit a lot from like splitting the light and shadow a bit more. I'd say you would probably get a bit of a darker outline here, like a core. It's called a core shadow, where the shadow not core shadow. Terminator is what it's called. I'm not good with words. So we would see a bit of a Terminator shadow here, which is usually, it ends up being a darker outline here, splitting between the light and shadow. I would say that from the candy, maybe you'd get a bit of reflection to the bottom of the lip. I feel like that's a bit of a adjustment you can make, quick one, that would help you with your rendering overall. I don't know how the highlights were. This looks a bit weird as far as lips go. I mean, I'm looking at my own. I have pretty good lips, chat. Okay. And I don't think, while it crinkles like that, I feel like you're missing. You have highlights, but I think you're missing a bit of the lighter values that you'd get on the lips, where the bigger sections of looks like a beauty dish photo, which makes it very flat and very diffuse. That's what I'm like assuming, but even like taking that into consideration, I think the image could still look better. So in a sense, I'm critiquing the photo as well, where we could benefit with a bit more value depicting the lips form. You know, we can make them even more juicier looking. Another thing is that I feel like the edges, it's similar to what I was saying about the shadow occlusions comment in the corner of the mouths and stuff. I feel like you could benefit a little bit from just a shadow at the very edge here, like very subtle. I don't know if the teeth are actually like in a natural, like in a natural setup. I feel like the teeth would be sort of like pinkish because she does have a red lollipop and red lips. So I feel like it would have been like the reflection would have been a bit more on the pink side. Hi Kresgar, how are you doing? Also, I mean, besides that, there's a couple of, like, for example, the lollipop. In both images, one thing that I see you doing, regardless of reference or not, I would like to see you're using the airbrush too much, and there's not enough hard edges. The lips one there is for the candy and stuff, which is really nice, but there's not enough hard edges in the light. And the same goes for the eye. So the eye structure seems to like disappear. I don't see the eyelid exactly, like the crease of the eyelid. Even if she had the very little crease on the eyelids, you definitely would have a bit harder where the eyelids would generally fold. I don't see the cornea here. I think that's what it's called. It should be a bit more bumpy and stuff. I feel like you've gone a little too dark on your values and a little too bright on your values as well, as far as colors go. It looks like she didn't sleep for like 5 years and she's really pale, but or maybe like a ping pong ball just hit her eye and now it's healing. No, that's the tear duct. I don't know words. The tear duct. Fucking what's cornea? What's the cornea? Oh, that's the inside. The transparent thing. Okay. So the tear duct thing. Cornea is the big white stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So the values of the eyelashes are a little too dark and they blend with the eye, which can be fine. But I think a little separation would be. Actually, looking at it closely, I feel like you try to do that, but even especially at this angle, we would still see a little bit of the top eyelid in the corner of the eye. Although maybe the reference image you were looking at had eyeliner on the inside, then I don't know if that's even something you can do, but maybe that, I don't know. I feel like the structure of the eye could be a bit clear, and the colors of the surrounding skin tones and the eye could be like, the transition could be a little bit better because it does look like she hurt her eyes instead of makeup, which is what I'm assuming you try to do was doing a makeup look, or the reference was a makeup look. The eyelashes, the eyelashes look like grass. Is kind of like my, or fur, not grass, fur. When you draw eyelashes, you gotta be really careful to not have that fur look to it, especially when you use brushes like this. I have pretty long eyelashes. So you see how they kind of work, right? I mean, they look fluffy, but they all come, number one, they come to a point. They're not transparent at the ends, which is what makes them look like fluffy. There's not like a million of them. Oh, did you see I sent the references on Discord? No. I'll look. Oh shit, what the fuck? Hold on. A million. Ah! Wait. To close my Firefox. Oh, you sent it. Oh, there you go. Oh, I was right. I'm not a sham, chat. Oh shit! I mean, of course I knew that. Look, chat. Proof of my 5 head. Here's the lips. Where's the eye? Open. Once again, proving to all of the haters that I know I might not know what a tear duct is, but I know what I'm talking about. You can see his chat. So here's the references. Those are some really bad references. They're not really bad. You could get better ones for sure, but like here's the thing that I was talking about. There's a little bit of a shadow. You probably can't tell. There's a ambient occlusion there. It is a bit photo edited, of course. You can see a bit more the separation of the lips fat, not muscles. Lips have muscles. That's a good one. The fat of the lips separation here. So like there's one section here and there's another section there. It's very subtle, but it exists. Again, here's the Terminator I was talking about, which makes it makes the division of the light and shadow. Again, you could have gotten better photo in my opinion, but regardless, all of it still applies. The teeth are a little pinkish. They appear white, but here they're actually a little pinkish. Your values went a little too bright on the teeth here. You gotta like matte it out a bit more. For the eyes, as I was saying, it's not a bunch of fur like that. They do come to a point, but it's generally sharp. It's just that it appears like the end of eyelashes appear to be like soft because of how thin it is. So what you want to do is you grab a thicker brush. Also, this is fake eyelashes, I think. Yeah, this is definitely fake eyelashes. If they're real, then damn. I would go from a thicker brush that goes to a point to a thinner one, and when you want to do the details of the eyelashes, like the little like the little whisks that you see here and stuff, I would then use just a very fine brush and then draw it. I would not use a fur brush type of deal, because that's not how eyelashes work. Here's the crease I was talking to you about. I think you're using a bit too much soft brush strokes. Like it's clearly a very, 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 very sharp edge here that fades into. It looks like this here. I have a brush that mimics it perfectly. So the crease looks like this, where there's a sharp edge and then it fades into soft. And that's sort of like what happens there. It's like, bam, do you see that? Of course, I have a brush that mimics it, but you can do it manually. This is sort of how it should look like, and in your image, it should be like that as well. You know what I mean? And in the crease here, it's sort of like that too, where you can kind of do that and blend it out a little bit. But you definitely need harder edges. As I was saying, you go a bit too bright on the highlights. Hers is definitely more matte. This like I just color picked the lightest point of the eyelid, and this is the brightest it would go to. So you need to tone it down a bit more. You do see that. Okay, so the reason. Okay, so here in the corner of the on the tear duct, it's actually 3-dimensional. You're drawing it a bit 2D, so you're drawing it like that, while it should be. Let me grab a different brush. While there's a bit of dimension to it there. So we always see, in a lot of cases, we always see the upper inside of the inside of the upper eyelid a little bit, and then the eyelashes from this angle on the reference seem to cover it. That's an eyelash brush. Tell the person who made it. Well, just because you own a gun that's meant to kill people doesn't mean you have to use it. You know what I mean? So I would still, if she had shorter eyelashes, you'd probably see a lot more of this. But I would do exactly that. It looks a bit more natural. Where her eyelashes go down, of course, we can see a bit better the structure of the eyelashes. The photo isn't great. I don't think the eye should blend with the eyelashes a lot. We should see a bit more separation happening here. I like the reflections of the image. I'm not sure. Oh, you added some of it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I would definitely rework this or a restudy and do what I suggested. You know, there's plenty of. Don't depend on brushes are important and they're good, but but if you don't know how to draw eyelashes by hand, then you probably cannot recognize whether what's a good eyelash brush or not, right? Because if you were, then you cannot automatically detect whether this person knows what they're doing or not, as far as brushes go. So that's it. That's my critique for you. I hope that helped. I mean, it's pretty much it, and oh yeah, one last thing is that again the separation of the lower part with the higher the lower eyelid with the upper eyelid could be a little clear or a little sharper, you know. So I would suggest you to use a bit more the round brush because it gives you a bit of a harder edge. If you just use the soft brush all the time, then it's kind of hard to make a sharp edge unless you make the brush really tiny. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for setting the critique. There you go.